Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for listening. Feeling very full of gratitude in this moment for another amazing Breathwave facilitators training. And they continue to get juicier, and everyone that shows up continues to raise the bar. It blows me away and continues to fascinate me as this life path of my passion for the breath, and how there's such deep readiness for the people that show up in circle to become facilitators in this work. There's a certain simplicity that's generally shared in circle when someone comes to deepen their awareness through their connection with their breathing, that really doesn't need to touch on much other than the basics of how to balance our breathing, which creates a lot of benefits for us in our life and in our body. And so this facilitator's training is, for me, an outpouring of many more of the aspects of the science and what it takes to be a facilitator in this work. And through the process of these last 6 days, I've realized some more things as I continue to be a student in this work and learn from everyone that shows up and through our collective process. And what I've noticed in our collective process, in my own processing, is how it's really about presence and awareness. And in being a facilitator and sharing this with others, it takes the deep experiencing of allowing ourselves to feel, creating a time and space for ourselves to be in practice, which means setting a time aside and a space aside for us not to be bothered and to really feel into our emotions and our body as a way of being present for ourselves. And that's what we bring to an offering of any service. And so there's a quality that we bring as being a facilitator in this work that really comes from soft humility, being grounded and present to be able to listen to what someone else's needs are. And I'm realizing this responsibility is not other people's healing. My responsibility is to respond in a way that's listening to what they need, which comes across in the most direct way that's best for them in the moment. So for me, that's an ability to be a channel and not to point out where they're wrong, but to meet them where they're at and to acknowledge the presence and the courage that it takes to be here in this life, not just in circle. And a lot of people come to spiritual circles wanting to be more spiritual, but it's really just about being human and having a more balanced human life. All of us are challenged today. And the beautiful thing about facilitating the breath that continues to fascinate us is how the breath pattern shows us where we're holding, where we're not allowing ourselves to feel and receive. And so the Breathwave medicine that we carry and share is this beautiful way of allowing the breath to move through all areas of the body and balancing the rhythm and the quality of our breathing. And I've noticed as I've been sharing breath work for many years around the world that some breath modalities are missing this fundamental teaching of correcting people's unconscious breathing patterns. And it can be easy to overlook if we have a goal-orientated approach to just wanting to create a bunch of high vibrational energy and a heightened sense of elevation and experience. And then it just gets to be a little bit woo-woo. But if we stay grounded in it and we allow ourselves to presence and feel, it doesn't have to be hard work at all. It doesn't have to be a lot of energy or emotion that moves, but we invite ourselves to continue to feel into what's moving in the moment. And so as we facilitate the breath work, we can subtly see where someone might be pausing the breath or where they might be not allowing themselves to feel. And so we use hands-on techniques to bring presence to the physical body. So it invites someone's awareness to come in deeper to those areas that we haven't been feeling into, which we know that if we avoid certain things in our life, they're going to continue to come up for us and want to be resolved and healed. They might come up in the circumstances of our relationships or our workplace or as symptoms in the body, but they arise at some point again to be healed and to be cleared, and for us to learn from them. So the beauty of the breath is really beyond our personal story and takes us deeper into the divine connection that breathes us all. And it's not a woo-woo, airy-fairy thing. We all know that we're divine beings. And when we get in touch with this one force that connects us all through our breathing, there's a centering. There's always a storm moving in our lives. In the center of a strong hurricane, there's an eye of the storm. And in the center of that eye, there's stillness and there's peace. I've actually been through a class 3 hurricane and noticed how all of a sudden it stopped, and we went outside in the middle of the night and could see the stars through the center of the storm. And then boom, it hit from the other direction a few minutes later. And that was a beautiful teaching and reminder to always come back to that place. We have this ability that's always within us to tap into infinite nourishment, infinite abundance. And then the more that we breathe, there's still enough to go around for everyone. So I'm really appreciative of everyone that continues to show up and the way the Breathwave family is growing. And my heart continues to widen from this place of deep knowing in the way that we show up for each other. Because we need each other now. We need to be in communities now. We need to remind each other of the importance of relationship, the relationship with ourselves, with the earth, with the air and the water and the fire. So I give deep thanks for the teachers that guide us all, that have dropped into their own experience enough to feel the presence without avoidance, without reservation, and to surrender to the truth, which continues to change. But there's a truth beyond our personal truth we could call God's truth. And when we really get in touch with what is right or what is true or what is grounded in love, we know what decisions to make, the people and the circumstances that are right for us in our lives. So I invite that we continue to connect with the light of truth through the breathing. And I am really grateful that the facilitators that continue to show up are going home with all of the tools that they need to be present and hold space for this process. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
So much gratitude, Robin.
It's an honor and a pleasure. Some people call it a job. I call it a joy of being. Aho. Thank you, Pachamama. Divine Father.